the easiest way is to say, oh, Trump tweets ceasefire, buy oil crashes, buy it. Let me just show you quickly the trades we've been making in our Discord.
Because think about it, man. Oil has not been rallying more, bro. It's also not been rallying more. I guess what are we doing here?
Yeah, you're right. It's a strange situation, but I think it's they're keeping a hand on it to keep the oil price down, and I don't think they can keep it down for much longer. I don't think they can keep it down for much longer. This is I'm going to show you the oil trade. Okay, here we go. So basically, right. This is what we've been doing. So once you understand what is happening in the world, then it's kind of easy to make decisions on easier. So when oil was dropping, right, dropped all the way from like $100 something down to about 70. This is around what, 75. We started buying, right? Not using much leverage. We started buying there. And I said to folks in my Discord, I said, look, you can probably get a lower entry. That's a very small buy. The big buy is around $67. And the bottom indeed came at $67, right? Almost exactly. And so I'm happy about that call. We don't always get every call right, but I'm happy about that one. Then as it kept on going up, I said, look, we're probably going to top out around 80. When I get around mid 80s, when I got to sold some to lock in some profits early. When it got to 85, I sold more. I said, look, this is the place where Trump starts going, ceasefire, ceasefire. Whenever oil goes up, right, he would say ceasefire. And this is where Trump actually tweeted ceasefire. So we sold at the top, right? But I still have a position. I still have some. When he says ceasefire, the market actually believes him. It's like I don't believe in Kevin Walsh. I don't believe what Trump says, but the market, some people in the market are dumb enough to believe it. And they dump oil and then it spikes again and I sell it again. I might sell some more because we're in the mid 80s again, right? And if it takes another dump, right, I might actually load up on some more. So like the philosophy we use is to basically never use that much leverage. Always protect your capital. Always try to be safe. But whenever but always it's kind of like with with the Kevin Walsh situation, you have to basically know if the person is you have to know if the person is trustworthy or not. This is just like the Kevin Walsh situation. Let me show you. So this is what we're doing during the before they signed the ceasefire. Every time Trump says ceasefire, the market would crash. I would buy some oil and buy some oil. He says ceasefire, we would buy some oil because you just call on it. And then when oil gets up to around $100 again, you know he's gonna then do some peace talks, right? He's under pressure because inflation's going up. We sell, and then when it drops, he says ceasefire, we buy, and then when it pops up to 105, 110 again, we sell, right? Like we were playing this game all day inside our Discord, right? Inside our Discord, and it was just like it doesn't take a lot of brains. People might be like, oh man, oil, international. That map you showed us, that understanding the international geopolitical map, Yemen, Houthis. You're talking about countries that I've never heard of, Pablo. Like this is this is too much. It's not. It's not. You can do this. You can trade. This is what I teach people in our Discord. You can learn to trade the dumb way, or you can learn to trade the smart way. The dumb way is trying to be smart, to learn geopolitical history of the Middle East, Yemen, Israel, the 6 Day War, the Yom Kippur War, whatever, right? Become a brainiac. Or you do it the smart way. And the smart way is actually the dumb way, which is basically you say to yourself, do I believe Trump? After watching 12 seasons of The Apprentice, do you still believe that, guys? Like if he says there's a ceasefire, that's not going to happen. Buy oil. Only idiots would crash and sell oil when Trump tweets ceasefire. That's when you just buy oil.
Pablo, I just want to say to my followers, I do support Trump. I understand Pablo. He goes a little bit left wing, but he actually has a very unique perspective. I've been partners with him for more than 5 years. And there's a lot of things he says that is truly, it'll give you an edge in the market. It'll give you an edge at understanding how the world looks at it outside of the Western media. So
Oh,
like
okay. Look,
under.
I want to apologize if I offended anyone who's
No,
a
no, no,
MAGA
no, no,
supporter.
no, 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 Pablo. I just want to say as a disclaimer because I welcome free speech. I like your free speech. Go ahead.
Just to be clear, when I was pro Trump, because we talk about crypto a lot, we want a crypto bull market in our Discord. So when Trump first got elected, I celebrated the Trump election for two reasons. I said, one, in his first term, he's the only president I know who didn't start a war. Like ever since even JFK started a war, and JFK was he started Vietnam. JFK started Vietnam. Lyndon Johnson kept the Vietnam War going. Like every U.S. president you could name had at least started one or two wars, right? Obama got the peace Nobel Peace Prize. He started two wars, right? So I said, one, finally, the world gets a peaceful president because Trump didn't start any wars in his first 4 years, and two, he's really going to do something for crypto. And now, 1 year into his 1.5 years into his second term, what can we say about that, right? His war record is broken, and he didn't do much for crypto. It's a huge crypto bear market. So I'm just trying to show you, I'm not against the guy. I supported him when got elected in the second time around. This is all on record. I'm not against him at all, but I'm just calling a spade a spade. So the thing is, look, if you by now you can already figure out what kind of personality he has. So most of the time, not every time, because when he tweeted, we signed an MOU, peace agreement with Iran. That actually did happen, and oil did crash down to $67. And you saw that I misjudged the situation, and I went in too early at $72, and it was a little bit early, but it was only a small position, and I didn't get stopped out, right? So it doesn't work every time, but most of the time, you know what kind of personality he has, and you can almost gauge what he's going to do. That's the smart way of trading the markets rather than studying the history of Israel, the history of Yemen, history of Iran, who is the IRGC, who is the Ayatollah. The easiest way is to say, oh, Trump tweets ceasefire, buy oil crashes, buy it. It's it's my way of saying I think Trump is stuck with the Middle East and he can't get out of Iran. If you start with that basic premise, then you basically know that there isn't going to be a real ceasefire. Even when the ceasefire was signed and oil went to $67, I kept on telling my Discord, you were in there, you know this. I kept on saying, look, um, this is gonna be like Ukraine. You think it's gonna end in 3 months, but it's gonna end maybe 3 years later. They're still fighting. They're gonna fight for a few weeks, then talk for a few weeks. Fight for a few weeks, then talk for a few weeks. Nobody believed me, not even in our Discord, because they just signed an MOU and oil crashed to $67. That's when I said, buy oil. This thing ain't gonna end. They're gonna talk. They're gonna talk for a few weeks, then they're gonna fight for a few weeks. We
Yeah,
can revisit this in 6 months, in a year from now. Pablo called this.
so Pablo, so what do we have coming up in the next few days in the community, man? And what's coming up, and so we can have you join us and
Okay.
not miss this
What
conversation.
one last thing I'm gonna say before we get there is this, and this is for you political guys who are Trump voters, Trump supporters. I don't think this thing's gonna get resolved before the midterms. And Trump actually, because he's honest and refreshing, he actually said this. He says, it was the Fox news anchor interviewed him. That blonde lady. She's like looks like she's in her 50s. She said, "When would your ideal timeline be to strike Iran? Would it be after the midterms?" And Trump actually answered this. He says, "Ideally, if it was up to me, yes, absolutely. We'll nail them after the midterms." And I was like, wow, you don't think the Iranians are watching this? Everyone knows, like everyone who's betting on this is gonna bet you're gonna hit them after the midterms. Because after the midterms, there's no consequences for another 2 years, right? And everyone is already thinking this is the move I would make if I was Trump. It makes all the sense. And then this news anchor from Fox actually asks him, and he actually says, yeah, that's what we're gonna do. And so I think what's going to happen is basically either there's two scenarios here. Either Trump says, "I'm never going to win the midterms. My opinion polls are down too much. So the one shot we have winning midterms is to go all out blitzkrieg, send in the troopers, take out Iran, take out the IRGC, and victory and win before November the 4th, then we can go to November 4th, right, and say we won Iran. The first president in 50 years, in half a century, Carter, freaking the Ford, Clinton, Bush Senior, Bush Junior, Obama, nobody took out Iran. I did. King of the world, right? He'll be shoo-in, win the midterms. That's the only chance he's got. But it's too much of a gamble. That's option number one. Option number two is fight a few weeks, talk a few weeks. Fight a few weeks, talk a few weeks, and drag this thing out past November the 4th. Then it doesn't matter if you win or lose the midterms. Then smack the hell out of Iran and finish the job. We all know he wants to finish the job. I'm saying that doesn't matter. What matters is what Trump believes in.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what the reality is. What matters if Trump's going to make that decision before or after the midterms. Either way, before or after the midterms, I see a major kick up in the action. Like I'm seeing airplanes flying from Lisbon, Spain, and from not Heathrow, but along the military airports in the UK. Every day there's like 20 planes going to Iraq, going into Jordan to dump equipment. They're ready to stage a major move on Iran, and it's going to happen either before the midterms or after the midterms, depending on the how much they think they could win the midterms. Depends on the odds of that. It doesn't matter what we think the reality is. It matters what Trump is convinced of. He doesn't know much about Iran, I'm saying. So he depends on his advisors. And it depends on what Pete Hegseth and Jared Kushner and, the David, what's his name? Like 3 or 4 of those guys. There's probably 5 or 6 guys that talk to him. It depends on what they tell him. He's totally dependent on them. That's why he made this decision to take out the Ayatollah Khamenei to begin with. And he thought people would flood onto the streets and hold up pictures of Reza Pahlavi and say, we want this guy to be the president, down with the RGC. That probably happening only like 10% of the country. The other 90% either did not do anything, stayed at home, or they came out and started mourning over this dead Ayatollah of theirs. So it was a total miscalculation, right? It depends on what he believes. And he could make the wrong decision.
Yeah. Well, everybody, we would love for you to join our trading community. Since 2021, we have over 40,000 members in the Discord. We have one of the largest trading communities. It's also beginner friendly. We have a special where you get 1 year annual membership for the price of 10 months. The link's in my profile, Pablo's profile, on our page's profile, PN and Friends profile. Would love to have you. And Pablo, what's coming up in the Discord later today or tomorrow?
Well, we're going to be analyzing a lot more about what's going to happen to Bitcoin, what's going to happen to the US stock market, especially with AI stocks, which are probably bottoming right now. Golden opportunity. And like Nima just said, we're making a great offer right now, 12 months, next 12 month membership for the price of just 10 months. And it's a fantastic time to join. You catch myself and many other experts and their opinions. Come and join us in our Discord.
All right. All right, everybody, have a good weekend, and we'll be back maybe next week, I hope, or the following week with another podcast. Thanks, guys.
Okay, thank you. Catch you guys.